coming to you on the day where the Supreme Court has restored our faith in the judiciary. I'm talking about the Bilkis Bano case, where the accused had been let out by the Gujarat government and others, and the Supreme Court has basically said that it was not proper and illegal to do that, and so they are expected back behind bars. Be that as it may, but the controversy is still on in social circles and in Christian circles as to why leaders did not have the political acumen or the honesty to decline that Christmas Day invitation. And so here is researcher, social activist Louis Prakash. So basically one opinion is this, that when the Prime Minister calls you, what can you do? You are summoned, you go. Okay? So that is one opinion basically. But why is it that so many people are upset?
Yeah, first of all, I think we should get into the background of the country and what is happening both to the country, to the constitution and citizens. These three I always take together. 3 C's, which is very crucial. All three are in danger. And now we have to add the 4th C is the Christians. You see, and especially among the Christians, those who are Dalits, tribals, and those who are in the rural areas, and those who are mostly coming from the marginal segment, who do not have a voice, who do not have money, who do not have. So their concerns are not addressed at all by the church and by the regime that is there. So I think these 4 C's have become very crucial for Indian polity, economy, education, religion, and everything put together.
So the 4 C's are, the first is constitution, country,
citizens, 4th is Christians,
and 4th now
in relation to this incident,
in relation to Christians.
To this what has happened.
Yeah.
And what we have today in India is an aggressive, abusive, authoritarian, fascist regime. And it is an elected democracy, but it is not a functional democracy. And there is a leader who has become techno-savvy, photo-savvy, Jumla-savvy, that is false propaganda, and an angry young man sitting on the top of the ruling elite, and because of which the youth of this country, over 70% who come from Dalit, tribal, minority, backward caste, youth are mesmerized by such a figure. They are moved into becoming an angry young Indian towards Muslims, number 2 towards Christians. Third, it will be 6. 4th will be Buddhist, because Jains are almost part of the Hindu fold. So I think this is the scenario. So in every index, this country has been falling at the lowest level. Within last 10 to 15 years, I think we are downward like anything in every indexes. Leave the indexes, the reality is the same. 70% coming from Dalit, tribal, minority, backward caste communities are on the verge of starvation. Price rise has increased. What interestingly increases along with this is lack of employment, lack of resources. So when this is going on the one hand, on the other hand, corporatization of economy, polity, culture and resources, those also happening. And there is always an attempt to project India as one of the emerging power, not just next to China, but even today's newspaper will have. It will take over from China. All these projections are political in nature. All these projections are international marketization in nature, and the reality is opposite to this. If 70% of your population does not have even 2 proper meals in a day, and you call yourself a Vishwaguru, so this has been happening. On the other hand, minority, especially the Muslims, have been victims of hate, hatred, mob lynching, segregation, and policies directly against them. Second, it comes to the Christians now, especially the rural masses, and priests, pastors, nuns, and lay leaders who have been speaking are targeted now, especially the many small denominations which are trying to do social work as well as educational and health work have been seriously hit by, number one, by monetization, number two, by the stringent laws with regard to FCRA, number three, with regard to the savings that these organizations can have, and many of them are not able to pay for their own pastors. I'm not talking about those institutions of the churches, parishes, where self-sufficient. I'm talking about thousands of those small ones for whom only some contribution coming from outside would take care of themselves and the people are. And atrocities everywhere. And in that, even some of these best of the institutions are not left out without any FIR, without any case filed, without any case going into the court. People have been arrested, and even before that, functions have been stopped, not by any government order, but thugs, robbers, hooligans, rapists who are scot free and walking around on the street go into these institutions and stop any activity which is related to education, which is also related to the religious function, without hurting the sentiment of anyone, which has been going on for 60, 70 years in this country. And also for the Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister to state that you are dressing them into Santa Claus, you should dress them in Lord Krishna. So if it is a function of Lord Krishna and Ram, then you dress them in that, there is no issue. And also Constitution provides that religious freedom and no one is forced to do, you see. So if a chief minister can utter this statement, he is not uttering a statement which is in line with his position and dignity. He is uttering a statement to please the authorities above. When these things happen, above all, Northeast have been ill-treated early, now even worst, and Manipur is a case clear. Last 8 months, violence has been going on unabated. Every day, houses have been burnt, people are chased, youth are not at home because combing operation goes on. Why this is done? The border between Manipur, India and Myanmar, a place called Moreh, one time there used to be every day 200 crore transaction used to take place because Chinese goods used to come to Myanmar, and through Moreh, which is entry into India, it used to come and used to go down to all over India. 200 crores. I was shocked by this fact. So, and most of them who were involved in that at that time were Nagas and Kuki tribes. Maybe few Meiteis who were friends, and they all lived together there. There have been instances, but they all lived together. But it's predominantly a hill tribe who have been asking for an autonomous council. So they were all party to this, so this happened. Now, I think that is a sore eye. And the present state or central government wants to control that business by shifting Meiteis that side. Hence, Meitei youth, Meitei militants, Meitei police are shifted there, and slowly to take over that place and control that business, number one, and slowly hand over all these to Adani for production of oil there, refined oil there. So in this situation, when these people have been, now the Kukis are being decimated because resources are seen, and they are all Christians. Whichever denomination they belong is different matter. So in this situation, when the Prime Minister invites church leadership through what one of my friend from Kerala called some Judases from Kerala, you should quote that. One of my journalist friend called from Kerala, and he said these are Judases from Kerala who is trying to sell the Christian community for some of those things that will fall from the table of Modi. So when they organize, the leadership should have sense to decline. Even an ordinary statement to say, this is the day of Christmas. We celebrate with our people and people who come from all religions to our place, institutions. They are welcome to visit the grave, share a cake and wish each other and go home happily. So it could have very easily declined not to attend. Number one, not to attend. So, but if they say they represent Christian community, fundamentally wrong. Hence, millions of Christians have opposed this. It is just the 3,200 who endorsed the statement in 2 days' time is an indication of the anguish and the anger Christians have against the leadership, whichever church, whichever denomination they come from, whatever position they hold. And it is a replica of what the bishops did in Germany when Hitler was planning to carry out massacre of the Jews. It's ditto. I have a picture of that also. And same picture you can replace it now. And I think this is number one. Number two, when Modi gloriously praised the church on the one hand, on the other hand was totally silent about the atrocities that is carried out, or not providing any provisions for our education and health ministries, which he praised, so that we could do even better to the poor. They did not say anything. And the third, they never brought up atrocities on Christians, atrocities on Manipur Christians, and also violence that is going on in Manipur and Northeast. I am not only limiting to cookies because they are Christians, no. I am also working with all of them. So I think this is where the anguish and the anger of the Christian community is. Within 2 days for that many number of people to endorse is only an indication of that anger. Nothing personal to anyone. They are all fine persons. They are good believers. But I think there is fundamentally something wrong between their belief and our belief. And the social teaching of the church very clearly says there should not be any dichotomy between your faith and action. There should not be any dichotomy. Faith is important, your action is also important. Hence, if that is what social teachings of the church, popes have reiterated repeatedly, and our faith and our action, there should be congruence, not difference. If you are believing that injustice anywhere is injustice everywhere, injustice to one Indian is an injustice to all the Indians, then I think we should have politely refused to attend, and which would have really sent a message. Number one. Number two, even when Modi visited the cathedral in Delhi, if those who were there had just locked the gates of the cathedral, it would have been a historical event, it would have been an international event. After all, he can close that, lock the church and put these people behind the bars. It's a great witness value to the one who died on the cross. Those of us who are in it are ready to face the music anytime. Hence, we have stuck our neck out, and these leaders have agreed to sell themselves for some opportunities possibly they will get from Modi as the Prime Minister. Yeah.
One does have the freedom in a democracy to decline an invitation, just like these four Shankaracharyas did. They said, okay, thank you for the invitation to this big celebration that's going to take place in Ayodhya, but no thanks. We will not attend because we think that it is more of a political gimmick.
That's all we have for today. Look out for our next roundup of Catholic news soon.